I'm 33 and just started grad school at a major university. Do you think I could still engage with undergrad females, and do you have any suggestions on how to bridge the age gap? Um, the answer is overwhelmingly yes. I so first off, I think once we're all adults, age becomes whatever. I understand when we start to get to massive age gaps, but even then, when it's two consenting adults and they're genuinely interested in each other and there's no power play, like you guys are you're her boss or something that's uncomfortable, don't necessarily shoot yourself in the foot or think that's going to be a huge issue. Because in fact, for a lot of women, it isn't. For generations, we see tons of young women tend to date men that are a little bit older than themselves. For many reasons. One, most men still are quite attractive to women of almost any age when they're in their 30s, 40s, even 50s, as long as they take care of their health, relatively. And you'll see this everywhere, man. Like the top celebrity, and I understand I'm not saying just celebrities and models, but you look at, some of the most attractive men women think, even in their 20s, are like men who are 45, for example, right? And they're famous for some reason, and they're like, oh my God, that guy's so handsome. So, there's a lot of reasons that women often tend to prefer guys older. Some. Your looks still look great to them. You tend to be a little bit more emotionally mature, a little bit more life experience, a little bit more stable in your position. And I don't want to generalize, but I tend to find that younger women mature a little bit faster in a lot of ways than men. So you kind of get in that same level. Like sometimes a girl who's 22 and dating another 22-year-old, they sometimes feel like they're dating a boy, like a guy who's not fully grown up and known himself and kind of is blue eyed to the world or whatever, or starry eyed to the world. Um, and in fact, I'll just tell you personal experience. My own father is 11 years older than my mother. The photographer that I work with at all my retreats, I think she's roughly 28 now, and her boyfriend's 42. And they might end up getting married. So I don't think it's as big of a problem as you think. I actually think a lot of women prefer slightly older men and think it's attractive. I don't think you should feel guilty or shameful as long as everyone's above age. And honestly, I don't think you need to address it unless somebody's, how to bridge it. I think it's mostly in our own head. If it doesn't bother you and you don't feel like you need to apologize or act weird about it, then most women don't care. On the rare circumstance that they do, and they're like, "Hey, how old are you?" Or like, "Oh my God, you're so much older than me," then I think the best thing you can do is just own it. And the way you carry yourself is the way that people will tend to see you. So if you're like, "Yeah, but I'm somebody who's young at heart and I don't think that matters to me," right? Or age is just a number and it's all about the person. And if you just say it like that and you really believe it, most people are like, "Oh, cool." They're just concerned in their head a lot of times because they're like, I might like this guy, I'm talking to him, but is it weird? Should I feel weird? Does he feel weird? And as long as you're like, hey, no big deal, like it's cool with me, age is a number, as long as somebody's like on the same wavelength, then I think that's great. Um, and most women are like, oh, cool, not a problem. If you are apologetic and shameful and you're like, yeah, I know I'm a little older than you, I'm sorry, I hope that's not a problem. Sorry if that's a little weird. I swear I'm not like trying to like talk to you because you're younger. Um, then yeah, that's the way they're going to see it. They're going to be like, this guy feels weird about it. Maybe I should feel weird. And it gets a little uncomfortable. So, really, all in all, I think there's not much of a problem. I think a lot of women are totally fine with it. I think as long as you're fine with it and you present yourself well, it will never almost be, it will rarely be an issue. And then if it is, I think just being comfortable with yourself and saying, hey, age is a number to me, whatever, that usually solves it. And like we talked about on the other question, which is if somebody's not looking for casual sex and you are, if somebody's really concerned about age, there's nothing you can do to change that. If in their head they're like, this is so weird, I would never date a guy who's 33, no matter what, you're not gonna. It's again leading versus controlling. I'm comfortable with this. This is what I want. I'd love to get to talk to you. If you're down, let's talk. If not, I'm not going to try to convince you relentlessly that like I'm not that much older than you. It's not that weird. Um, yeah,